And celebrity interviews live from the Grotto with Greg Hanna. Greg, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing really well. We got a serious guest and a very serious topic today.
Yeah, very serious topic. Definitely in the news. So I'm excited to welcome Detective Tony Godwin to the program. He's of Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force and is focused on the new investigative series Predator Hunters. Greg, go ahead with your first question.
Yeah, great. Detective, thanks for taking the time. It's a pleasure to meet you. How are criminals using new technology, specifically AI, today to exploit children online?
Really good question. It's an untapped market because it's so popular right now. We have some laws that are in place that address certain things related to, unfortunately, child sex abuse material, because there is a lot of AI generated things that are out there. So it's first and foremost on our minds when things like that are happening, and none of it's really great. At the end of the day, we don't have a lot of case law right now. So there's not a lot of prosecutions that I'm aware of that are happening, even though the legislature is very keenly aware, which is why they're putting some things in place for that. But we're in uncharted territory and waters right now. So that's a really good question.
Now, it's interesting, Detective, that Greg owns a cybersecurity company, Toss C3, and what he talks about AI and the dangers of AI. Everyone wants to be a hacker now, Greg.
That's right. And you can convince the LLMs to actually give you the code. If you come straight out and say, how would I hack X, Y, and Z, they shut you down and it won't do it. But if you pose it in a certain way, hey, I'm teaching a course, give me an example, a case study, this or that, then they just give it all to you. We need more guardrails, don't you think, Detective?
Oh, well, yeah, 100%. There needs to be some oversight in what's going on for all the greatness that it's going to do and has already done. At the end of the day, we need to really have some safeguards in place, because if children are involved in any level, in any way, shape, or form, then we still need to have the ability to do the job that we do to find these predatory types and lock them up.
So how sophisticated are they in AI nowadays, especially the people that are predators?
I'll be honest, while I know that sophisticated level is out there, there's hands down, no question about that. But there's also a lot just on the open web that are still doing everything that they've always done for decades. And so at the end of the day, we focus our attention where we can and where we're going to catch the most fish. We put a boat out there that's capable of holding a whole bunch, and we want to haul in as many as we possibly can. Occasionally, we are seeing the bridge between just people in the clear web and what they're doing in the open net and the AI component coming into it. But at the end of the day, most of these guys are out for their own satisfaction. They're out for their own personal gratification, and their goal is to find a real kid. And so it's important to understand that everything that we do on the ICAC task force that's done in the undercover capacity is done based on, unfortunately, something that's happened to a real child. We know where the kids go. We know what the kids do. And so we just emulate that in the hopes that these predators will find one of us instead of a real kid.
Right. So from an educational perspective, what are like the top 3 or 4 ways that are most common for online predators to target kids today? Hopefully parents are listening and can take some notes.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, wherever kids go, predators will go. And so they may present themselves to be someone they're not. They may pretend to be a kid just to get into a kid's area or gaming platform or something like that. But in my experience, they go in as the adult. They don't necessarily hide the fact that they are an adult. The grooming process online is far faster than it is in real life because there's this sort of perceived anonymity behind the screen. But make no mistake, these predators have a goal, and their gratification is all they are concerned about. So they will take whatever time it is. They will have every answer to any kind of problem that the kid may have, whether factual or not, and they will do everything they can to build a trust with that child so that they remove them from that parental figure or that adult figure in their life and then replace it with themselves. So once they build that trust, then they can get these kiddos to do just about anything. And kids are kids. They want to be accepted. They want to do what they're doing out there. And so we really need to be diligent about that.
Kids' bedrooms are becoming the social hangout now for friends. They don't go out and meet at the mall like Greg and I did, or we go and play sports all day. They're talking, they go home, they eat dinner, and they go to their rooms a lot, from what I hear. Yeah. How do you monitor kids without seeing that it's become like an invasion in their privacy?
Yeah, I've had that argument with a few parents, the whole invasion of their privacy part. And I think what we have to do is change the paradigm and what we're thinking about. And so much that, number one, as a parent, you know your child better than anybody. So you're going to notice things like a significant behavior change. You may see that your kiddo's an A student and now all of a sudden they're getting C's and D's. Or maybe they have a friend group that's changed. Or maybe they've always been very outgoing and now they're introverted, going right into the room and stuff. Those can be some serious red flags. And so I think what we do to change the paradigm is we tell parents, listen, from an early age, from a young age, we need to have safe and practical and intentional conversations with our kiddos that are age appropriate to their age so that it's not a one and done. I'm not to allude to how old either of you two are, but in my world growing up, we had the talk, right? Your parent would come and have the talk with you about anything sex related or anything internet related, even though it didn't exist back then. We don't do the talk. Let me give you one quick analogy. You would never give a 10-year-old the keys to a minivan and say, hey, run down to the store, get some bread and some milk and come back. Yet a parent won't even think twice to hand their kid a phone at age 10 or 11 and say, here you go. You're in the wild. Be careful. There's not even a conversation. It's only for them to be in contact with the kiddo. So the more intentional conversations we have, along with a really robust ability to monitor what they're doing, actually grabbing the phone and getting through it, knowing what the passcode is to that device, which I can't tell you how many parents don't know that passcode, understanding the applications, knowing these applications and these gaming sites have hidden vaults, understanding that all of them have the capability of sharing media and content. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot for a parent. But if you're not being intentional about it in a loving way, over a period of time that's age appropriate, if something happens, the best case scenario is your kiddo comes to you and says, hey mom, hey dad, I got myself in a bind. I need some help, which is what we want.
Now, Greg has a final question, and I think
one more, if I could, before
sure.
the detective, without getting into any specific actual sources and methods, can you walk us through how investigators track and arrest these predators before they harm a child?
Yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, we put ourselves where kids put themselves, which is on applications and gaming platforms, and we put ourselves online. It doesn't take long for the predator to do what they're going to do and meet the elements of an offense. And once we do that, we identify certain things. Like, you got to log in, you got to have an email in a lot of cases, you got to have a username, and all of that stuff is searchable. We do tons of legal process with the electronic service providers. We work hand in hand with them. We work hand in hand with MET, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And we just begin to deconstruct. And once we do that and we determine, okay, this person is here or this person is there, then we start to implement a plan to get them into custody.
All right, go ahead, Craig. Quick question and finish up. All right.
Yeah, thank you, Detective. It's been a real pleasure and an honor to speak with you and to learn about this horrific subject a little deeper. I love to ask this question of all of our guests, it helps me grow as a human in my own life. But if you wouldn't mind sharing with me, what do you feel is the most important thing in life you've ever learned?
Oh man, that's a really great question. We struggle with this even in our own lives because we grow up with this mindset of, hey, I've always just been taught, like, we do the right thing for the right reason. We just have this integrity and character about ourselves. It's what we try to pass along to our own children and our grandchildren and all of that goes around with it. I learned early on from my grandfather and my parents, this is just what we do. We have a good, strong, solid work ethic, but we do it for the right reasons. And I've just always tried to emulate that. And I hope that's what transcends when people see the show. This is part of my DNA. This is all I know at this point. I will always be in this field, maybe not as active law enforcement like I am now, but even if I'm volunteering, I'm going to be in this space because saving kids and rescuing kids and preventing a kid from being exploited, that's all that I think about. That's it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Fabulous. Everyone needs to tune in on Thursdays to A&E. And we could catch up on the app too, right? If we missed an episode and stuff. Isn't that right, Tony? Thank you again, Detective. Yep. Check out A&E every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern to Predator Hunters. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks again.
Thank you.
That was the special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and celebrity interviews live from the Grotto with Greg Hanna, guys.